just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Pack Her Up Boys, and proudly brought to you by Lontel. And we actually got, after our spiel yesterday, I got quite a few messages. I even got an audio. Have a listen to this. I hope Blake K12345 on Instagram doesn't mind me playing this. But
hey mate, just wanted to say, listening to the podcast and I was hear about Lontel and not being a big believer about it, but honestly, mate, just signed up today, funny enough, and then downloaded the new Assassin's Creed game, and holy shit, man, I had it downloaded within 10 minutes, which is unbelievable. So, absolute big raps, and appreciate.
There you go. There's one, and then on top of that, here's a comment. Just here to hype up Lontel. I set up my account at 4:50 Sunday Arvo as I had just moved houses. It took me longer to go and buy the router than for Jason, shameless plug because he's a weapon, to turn on my connection. It's also so stupid fast that I had AC4 downloaded before the Sharks had finished touching up a sad-looking Manly. I know we see brand promotion a lot in our podcast, but it feeds the people that do the stuff we consume and enjoy, so they don't have to ask for it from our pockets. Support good businesses in a world run by horrible ones. Lontel, the GOAT, rant over. So guys, lontel.net/bloke. You can even just sign up and use that code. It supports the platform. But once you get in the process, I promise you, I know what you're thinking, that it's just a G up. As I said on Thursday, we promoted Lontel for months for free just because I love the product. I genuinely think it is, internet is such a punish all the time. This is different. I promise you that. So give it a try. Go to lontel.net/bloke. Just sign up. Go through the process. You get credit. And also you get a free trial as well, so you will not be disappointed. Okay, also quick announcement, the hotline, we're going to think of the name for it, but the hotline, it is 02-8188-1617. So if you give that a call, we'll also leave it in the show notes and leave your, whether it's rant, it's banter, let's have a bit of fun, a bit of banter. Obviously don't be fucking too rude. Whatever your questions are, leave it for the hotline and me and Tommy Bomb will try to get to it next week. That is 02-8188-1617. Leave your message. Just, for example, your reaction to the Thursday night game or something big that's happened in rugby league. And we will try and get to it next week, guys. So the number will be in the show notes. I want some banter. I want some funny stuff. Just rugby league humor, the best in the business. But Tommy Bomb, he's got a smile from ear to ear. How you going, brother?
Pretty good. Can be good. Internet is important. Whether you're playing games or sometimes you watch a game on a Thursday night and if your internet was cutting out, you might miss 4 tries.
No way.
You know what I mean? You might miss 30
Did your
points.
internet really cut out?
No, it didn't. But what I'm saying is
okay.
Like most games you get away with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if your internet was dropping out a bit,
but not a
clunky,
Roosters game is what you're saying.
Not last night.
Yeah.
If you had shit internet last night, you might have missed 3 Tedesco tries before halftime.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's...
Well, he didn't score 3 tries, but yeah, you know what I'm saying.
No, you know what I mean. Two tries.
2 tries, yeah.
2 tries and 3 tries is
for... Didn't score 3 tries. Just to
like
for fact checkers out there, didn't score 3 tries.
2 tries and probably would have scored 3 if he'd played more than half a game. NRL level, and we're resting our fullback at halftime.
Oh, Matty, how you going, mate?
Yeah, I've had better Thursdays. Definitely wanted to... I tipped the Cowboys. Turns out that was the worst take of all time because they got beat by 70 points. That was unbelievable.
Man, I got to say, this is what I've been talking about for so long. I know Roosters fans think I'm a hater. I am not. This is what I see the potential of this side. Now, did I see an 80-point score? Obviously not. I did pick them to win. I thought they'd bounce back. But this was Roosters Rugby League. This was power short passing. That is all they need to focus on, power short passing. A lot of their tries, most of their tries, at least to start with, I think the first 5 of the 6 tries or whatever were in the middle third. It was a Radley offload. It was an inside ball from Sam Walker back to Teddy back to Sam Walker. It was a short ball to Fiketti. It was power. It was short passing. It was none of this block for block for block, trying to tear. That's not the Roosters' way. And this is what I've been trying to talk about the whole year. I'm happy where the Roosters are at. They're sitting second on the table, but give me a game, and hopefully they can back it up next week. It doesn't have to be as good, where I say that is the Roosters' way. We saw a glimpse of it against the Broncos. We saw the full package. And yes, the Cowboys were poor, but I think that has a lot to do with they just got demolished by a team that was red hot. I think the Cowboys just didn't know how to handle the power and speed through the middle. You've got the best supporting fullback arguably all time, if not the second best behind Billy Slater and Teddy there. You got Reece Robson, a great ball running. You got Nafahu White, too powerful. You got Fiketti, Nat Butcher back in the middle. I love that. This is honestly what I feel like 5 years ago when Trent Robinson was recruiting guys like Cheese. This was the vision he had, which was punching through the middle, really powerful, explosive players, and it culminated in last night's performance. And there was a moment for me that at the time I didn't realize how significant it was, but looking back on it, it actually should have given me pause to say, oh, something big's about to happen. So early in the game, Sam Walker's red hot. He's jumping around the field. He puts in a great kick, and Nwangani Tuwase just doesn't chase. And Sam Walker is blowing up, absolutely filthy at Nwangani Tuwase, and rightly so, because Nwangani Tuwase could have got there. So what happens is they get a 7-tackle set. The Cowboys actually go up and score on the other end. And when I saw Sam Walker have the confidence to do that, but also locked in where it matters, I all of a sudden said, oh, hang on a sec. We might have a 7 in a premiership type mentality after his Origin performance. This was incredible. This is exactly what I wanted to see from the Roosters. This is what they are capable of. If they play like that, they will be in a grand final.
Oh, for sure. I think it's so good to see that Sam's been able to bring back. I mean, we've been talking about the Panthers and Origin hangovers and whatnot. Seeing Sam Walker last night, and like you spoke about that moment where he sprayed Mark, but just the confidence that he's playing with, and just the way he's taking the line on too. Like, there's part of him when he squares up and he takes the line on. Like last night, it looks like in his head he's like 6'3" or something. You know what I mean? Like he's playing really confident. So. Very exciting, and I've obviously blocked out the 4th of October already. So,
mate, it's so exciting. Like, name me a better reactive 7 in the game. Like, honestly, you would say if you're looking for a guy that, if they get momentum, can react and create magic off that momentum, Sam Walker's one of the best in the business. Like, he genuinely is one of the. That's almost like you'd almost argue. Like, he can still play conservative, because we saw him play that kind of conservative rugby league, but he is designed for fast-flowing footy and winning contact footy. And we saw it. He was absolutely phenomenal. And, I just got to give the Roosters credit. This is what they've been building towards. Now it's going to be just give me 1 or 2 backup of games. It doesn't have to be 82 points, but just that super like, what do you do once they get on a roll on and you got Radley coming at you, White coming at you, Spencer coming at you, Nat Butcher coming at you, Fiketti, Wong. Like, what do you do once they get that roll on?
Well, it's
and Reece Robson.
Yeah, near impossible to stop. It's funny, when you watch like a David Attenborough thing, or like on something on Natural Geographic, and there's like a predator that goes for the kill. That's what it looked like when Sammy Walker picked up that ball on that last try that Ramsey scored, where he gets that loose pass and he looks up and he just goes, fuck it, and grubber, second kick, and then Cody gets there and regathers it. Like, you could just see instincts completely take over.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was so exciting to watch. I'm glad it's happened a couple of weeks away from when we come up against Penrith too. Like, I think we've got 1 game in between.
Yeah, against the Dogs.
Yeah, I think we go. So Cows last
Perfect
night,
run.
Dogs. It's a great run into Penrith. I think that's where we'll get the real indication. And
well, you can lock yourself into knowing where you're at. Like, Dogs are in a good run form, in good form at the moment. You go to Penrith, you don't have to beat them, but if you get close, then it's like, we are a premiership contenders. That's it. It's over. There's no more questions in our mind. Just amazing stuff from the Roosters. As I said, I don't know many teams that could stop that.
Oh, no.
I really don't know. Like, it really would have to be Penrith playing their best. And you could argue, now, I'm not saying that this is the case, but like, even Penrith, the power of that Roosters forward pack and the size may struggle to contain that. The Dolphins, probably the Warriors at their best. Like, the Warriors at their best are probably the only forward pack I'd look at size-wise and could contain that. Now, where Penrith could get a team like the Roosters is because they are such a big, powerful outfit. If the ball is in play a lot and you can stop Roosters from scoring early points, they can get fatigued. You can look for some gaps around the middle of the field there. But that was incredible. That was nothing short of incredible. Sam Walker, take a bow. Teddy getting rested. Cody Ramsey came on, played outstanding. Nwangani Tuwase, outside of that first 5 minutes or whatever, phenomenal. But for me, it was actually Nat Butcher. I love him in the middle. He is a front rower. He's a middle player. Yes, I understand sometimes you're going to have to put him out on the edges at times to fill a void. he's a middle now, and he's almost the perfect middle because, like, we're going to sit here and a lot of people will praise Nafahu White, and rightly so. He's a gun. He's an absolute gun. But in that game, you would expect Nafahu White to be the guy that, blows the meters out the charts. And granted, he did play less minutes, but Nat Butcher in the middle, 20 runs for 218 meters, 73 post contact, 1 tackle break, 23 tackles on the zero missed, no errors. And Nafahu White, still also good. I'm not taking anything away from Nafahu White. 16 runs, 170 meters, 82 post contact, 2 tackle breaks, 4 offloads, insane, and 11 tackles, 0 miss. Like, it's just those two 1-2 punch, and then you bring Lindsay Collins back into the side as well. Like, I wonder where there's a world where Nat Butcher stays starting with White and you can bring Spencer and Lindsay off the bench.
Yeah, I think
impact.
so. I think like there's 2 wins that come with moving Nat from the edge. Like, I think Nat isn't quick enough on the edge. I understand the logic of wanting him there because probably defensively you trust him, but I think the speed aspect takes away the fact that, yeah, he's physical, but he can get beaten with speed. And we saw that a couple of times, especially earlier in the year. But moving him into the middle, it sort of helps shore up what you were talking about before, Kempy, where if the ball's in play, fatigue is something that you can really target with the Roosters middles at different points. Whereas if Nat's there and he's running for over 200 metres, like him into that rotation just adds a lot of depth.
Well, him and Radley on the field at the same time, like that's a pretty good defensive side.
It's a lot of work that's getting done there. So even Radley, like the way he's starting to really lean back into some of his ball playing and his offloads that we sort of saw in the earlier 2020s, and when we won the comp, that was such a big part of his game. And I think it's not that he went away from it, but I think it's just a lot more obvious that it's coming to light again now.
Well, he got moved around a bit, to be fair to Radley.
Exactly,
Pushed to an edge, suspended, all that kind of stuff. He
Oh,
hasn't
for
had,
sure.
This is the longest stretch of footy he's played in a while, actually.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it.
But you also had, like, over the years, like, you had Terrell May there, who obviously has a lot of ball playing about him. You've had Connor Watson in and out of that side. Like, these other guys where that was their strength, Brandon Smith. So I think here they got moved to an edge. You throw in the injuries and suspensions that you're talking about, but him being able to lean back into that role and being the guy again has been really exciting as a Roosters fan to see. The other guy who I think, and last night probably not the best example of it because it was the Sam Walker show, but I think if we were to go on and win this comp, the role that DCE is playing, it's going to be grossly underappreciated when you factor in that for over a decade he was at another club as the guy, the main guy, as the 7, and he's forced to come in and sort of, for the first time ever, essentially play second fiddle next to the best reactive 7 ever, potentially, but also probably the most difficult 7 to partner.
And also
in a lot of
DCE
ways too.
It's also hard to partner with DCE.
That's right.
They're both hard to partner with.
Very, very. And like I think the way that DCE's been able to slot in, like I remember 2018 when we won the comp and it was Cronk's first year, took us like 13 rounds to even look like we might even be a chance at winning a comp. Because, you had Teddy coming in, you had Cronk. Like, it takes time to build those combos. Whereas I don't really feel like that's been a real sore point this year where people have focused on that with DCE and it's been more about the side. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's a sore point, but you just haven't looked a well-oiled machine yet.
No, not at all.
The Raiders game and this game is where I think DCE and Sam Walker have looked like they just DCE, long kicking game, Sam Walker, short kicking game. And I do agree with you, like come finals time, he will, at some point, he'll play a crucial part. And I know immediately what people are thinking, their defense. What about their defense when they get into good games? The Roosters have the 3rd best defense in the competition, and they don't get enough credit for it. But I understand that DCE and Sam Walker sometimes can be considered spots, but at the end of the day, they're still the 3rd best defensive team in the comp. And when you've got attack that good, then it kind of outweighs the fact that you're not the best the best defensive team in the competition.
Yeah, you don't really see them get done from way out too. Like often, if you were to go back and look at the tries this year where they've been through Sammy Walker or through DCE, often it's when teams have sort of been camped back-to-back sets in good ball where they'll finally then get at that spot. I think when you got a big forward pack like us, if you're completing well enough and with the long kicking game of DCE, if you can keep them down there for long enough or out of your own sort of red zone, you can sort of counteract the fact that they are spot defenders. So I think that'll be the big thing. And we spoke about this on Monday, but coming up against Penrith in 2 weeks' time, we're going to have to lean into that sort of offload power game and just try and do a better job than we did last time against them of minimising the errors.
If you can complete at 90% and you have that many offloads, so 16 offloads to 4, that will play with the Panthers' systems. Like what is the Eels? Now, granted, they were close recently, but under Brad Arthur, the Eels actually had a bit of success against the Panthers. And why was that? It was because they were willing to throw the offload and chance their arm. And if you can win the contact, I cannot wait for that game. I really can. And look, it'll be the biggest letdown of the century. Can you imagine if they go in and get towed up by Panthers? It'll be like, this all meant nothing. This all meant literally nothing. But at the moment, mate, absolutely phenomenal. Nwangini Tuase, he clicked into gear. I thought for Keddy on the edge there, I really like him on an edge. I think he's mobile enough. I think he's fit enough. I think he's confident enough now. He's played enough first grade. You know, he could actually cement a spot there for a while now, because right now it's got Angus Crichton. He's out for a while. Will he be back before finals?
I still don't know the vibe.
I heard that he might be back around 25-ish.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
But
is
that's
scary.
so unconfirmed.
But also, let's say he's back by week 1 of the finals. That's insane. You're going to put Angus Crichton back into the side. You're going to put Tupou back into this side.
Yeah.
Like, bro, as I said, they got essentially 1 or 2 pieces of the puzzle. They play like this or similar to it for 2 more rounds. They are they're already locked in for premiership heavyweights for me now with such an incredible performance. Before I always said I want to see 2 or 3 good games one after each other, but something as big as this is just it's too hard to ignore.
Can I say something that is going to sound absolutely crazy? I actually reckon their performance last night is being underrated. Because all everyone's saying, and it's fair, it's such a fair point, is that they haven't put 80 minutes together this year. If they can click, they can put on a performance like this. They scored the 3rd most points of all time.
Yeah, it's insane.
In 120 years. I reckon this is the best performance by a Roosters team this decade by a mile. I was going through them today. Last year's game versus Penrith came to mind in round 2, but that was more an underdog game.
Yeah.
They smashed the Tigers 74-0 once, I think, but the Tigers were coming last. Cowboys, some people, me included, thought they were a dark horse. I reckon this is one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. It was perfection. It was rugby league perfection. And did I think if they put 80 minutes together, they'll be a competition heavyweight? Yes. Did I think they could put together a performance like this? Never. Not in a million years. 82 points is a historical achievement. It was just unbelievable what happened last night.
Unbelievable. And so, knowing you have that in the back of your mind, Trent Robinson, every time he goes in for his team meetings, he can be like, boys, if you fucking do the Roosters way, it works. It's one thing to kind of have the theory in your head recently of if this all comes together, boys, this can work. Trust me, there's been moments, whatever. It's another thing to go, there's 80 minutes we can always look at and say, if we fucking do our job and do it properly, we can put this together. It's a huge win, And as I said, fuck, not only, even if they play 80%, if they play 80% of how good they played here, they could beat essentially every team except for the top 4. That's how good this game was. That's what's insane is their ceiling, even if they dropped to 80% of their ceiling, they would still beat most teams of the comp. That's how good it was. They are, and I understand the comments are going to come in right now. Oh, coach, 1 game, who gives a shit? Listen, they're sitting second. They're sitting second, and they just did that to a fellow top 8 side. I get it. It was a short turnaround. I get all that. This is not just a big 40-6 win. This is a historic, record-breaking win. It matters. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept too when you talk about the idea of performances versus wins. You brought up that Penrith win last year, very big win in the context of the Roosters' history, given they were such outsiders.
Yeah, they're paying $13 or something.
Yeah, the guys they were missing, huge win. In terms of performances, I reckon you could definitely argue, I think it'd be hard to argue against actually, that it's not their best performance ever. When you consider 82 points against a team Matty, we were joking before, but you weren't the only one. A lot of people really made a point this week of the value of the Cowboys.
They're a top 8 side.
And it was a very reasonable take to have based on the context of the season.
They're currently in the top 8. So miss me with this whole Cowboys, the Cowboys are shit or whatever. They are currently in the top 8.
I was nervous going into this game that they would be able to beat us, and they've already beaten us this year at Magic Round. So when you consider all that context going into this game, 80 points is fucking enormous. 3rd highest ever. They didn't just miss the jump and it got away from them, a bit like the Broncos against the Roosters, where they then clawed it back. This was a fucking absolute massacre, and just it's it's very exciting. I think it's just going to be interesting it's a weird game to try and back up next week, which is why I said before I'm stoked there's a week in between.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to go into a Panthers game straight away next
Mate,
week.
the one thing, if I was Robbo, the one thing I'd be focusing on with this team going into next week is, guys, we have one target, and it's to complete over 85%. Don't go looking for all those big plays. Don't go for the winning 13 plus or whatever. A very simple target, complete over 85%. If you do that, it'll stop players from getting ahead of themselves. Like if you it's not only a target. If we don't complete over 85%, I'll be fucking livid. Boys, this is a non-negotiable. And that way, I think that's a really good way of like just bringing everything back a little bit so that people, because the concern about what you're alluding to is they're going to go out and just go, oh shit, we're going to offload every single set now. We're going to score every single set. And I reckon if Robbo says to him, 85% no matter fucking what, I would rather lose and complete at 85% than win. I know that's dramatic, but I just think that's the only way you can keep them fucking calm and locked into what they need to do next week.
Yeah. The other thing too, like the way they used Teddy, like obviously first half, and then even when Ramsey came on, it was the same. So many years now where they'll run real wide shapes for Teddy, where you'll then see Teddy like sort of either run out of room or crab his way back in field, and he'll still look kind of dangerous. But last night there was so much more positioning him in the middle. So like you spoke before about that try that Sam scored where inside ball to Teddy, Teddy gives it back. There was so many examples of that where they were using their fullback in that role where it was like push through the middle, whether it's going to be off one of our halves, mainly Sam, or offloads.
Just short passing.
Yeah, short passing around the middle, which is where like that allows like, you know, I know he only played the first half, but that's where Teddy comes to life. When he has to try and create that space himself, like that's when people start sort of bagging Teddy, and it's been the same in Origin where it's like, oh, he gets in the way. It's like, well, you're trying to play a style that doesn't suit him. When we did it last night, we played a style that was suiting our forward pack, but then Sam and then Teddy, like, yeah, we blew them out of the water. Like
Too much power, winning the contact. And I just think that, yeah, this idea that you need to almost like, for example, the Broncos, they're throwing these long balls. It's out the back. It's all this, you know, wide arcs kind of thing. I think if you're the Roosters, you're just looking at power, short passing. That's all I would be focused on right now because, like, they just win. They make so much meters and space by winning contact. And you're so much on the back foot when you got White crashing through, Butcher crashing through, Radler crashing through. And then they got such speed when it comes to, like, Rob's pretty quick for how big he is. But when Teddy is just around the ruck and Sam Walker's around the ruck, they're just too quick. They're too quick. They're way too quick and too clinical. Amazing performance.
Can I just add some more historical relevance? Because like as someone that like, you know, as a kid, I used to love looking through all the record books and just loving it, like looking up the history of rugby league and stuff. And I just think yesterday was such an amazing game for the history, or such an amazing result for the history of the game. It's the third highest score ever, as I said before. If you look at the first two, and I understand that tries were worth 3 points back then, so there's probably plenty of games that actually would eclipse that if you add the 4 points, whatever. But let's just park that for a second. The two games that are ahead of them were in 1935. It was the Dragons versus the Bulldogs. The Dragons won 91-6. That was in round 5. That was the Bulldogs got established in 1935. So that was their 5th game of all time. They were a new club. The next week, the Roosters beat them 87-5 or something. I don't know the exact score, but those are the top two. This is third. This is third, where the game's professional, and they were coming up against a top 8 team, and they scored 82 points.
Yeah,
it is like an amazing feat.
Well, a lot of people thought that Roosters should have been not necessarily outsiders, but should have been closer to even money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it is crazy. Like it's incredible. The other thing too, just quickly, that I think really sums up the dominance of the Roosters last night. That Burns try, the second try, where they skinned our left edge so fucking easily. I think that just shows how much we controlled just the field position and just possession and the roll-on that we had. Because once they actually found themselves in good ball, they actually did a pretty easy job of scoring against us. You know what I mean? Which is what we were talking about earlier.
The 2 times are up there, yeah. Yeah. To your point.
Yeah. So I think that just shows you how much we dominated.
Yeah.
Even like Cody Ramsden, he came on for 40 minutes. He had a try and 2 try assists, 185 metres, 2 tackle breaks, a line break assist. He won it like that last try where, you know, Walker is just in God mode. Like Sam Walker just went into God mode.
Yeah.
Just went, chip again. Thanks for coming. Just, it was almost like watching a video game and you've picked the best player and he can just do everything. He was amazing.
You reckon he's an NRL fullback? Like potentially at a club?
Who
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
I mean, at the moment, he's showing that he is. Absolutely. He's improved out of sight.
He was carving for the Dragons before he went through what he went through for that few years. Like, fucking carving. That was just Walker put the rugby league blinkers on. Like, you could see that, like, it was almost like in his eyes, he was back in the fucking backyard.
Yeah.
With his uncles.
That was
and
his field.
dad.
Like that, he owned that field. You're right. Like it was like a kid that just felt like he owned that field, and whatever he wanted to do, he was going to do it. Amazing stuff, just amazing stuff. So, the hardest battle now for Trent Robinson will be keeping a lid on it. Not getting too ahead of themselves, making sure you celebrate it properly. But as I said, I think that the main focus, if I was Trent Robinson, would just be, okay, let's make sure that this team focuses on high completion and discipline. Don't focus on all the flashy stuff, because that's when we'll go back to our old stuff, at the start of the season where we're completing at 65% because we think we're going to score off every single play. Yeah. That'll be the main focus. In regards to the Cowboys, look, they might win another game this year. They most likely will win another game this year. But I mean, me personally, that just, if you even had a thought of them being a dark horse, that just completely puts a line through them for me. I didn't have them as a premiership threat. I was starting to be like, oh, hang on a sec. But I just think that the scarring of that heading into finals footy, I just think it'll rattle their confidence. I reckon if they're about to play the Roosters in a game in the finals or even Penrith or whatever, I think there'll be a scarring of like far out. Like there is another level to this game that we just got pumped from.
Just quickly, they do have one of the great runs of all time coming up. So they probably will win some games. They got the Titans, the Eels, the Bye, the Tigers. So they probably will win some games.
Yeah, I think they'll win games just in finals footy. When that pressure mounts, look, maybe they will. Toddy Payton will have to work a miracle. I just think the scarring of such a big loss, that's hard to kind of live down.
I reckon they're not going to win the comp, but I reckon they can still cause some trouble in those first 2 weeks of finals. I think when you look at, I was so wrong. I thought that Todd Payton was a loss against the Storm away from losing his job earlier in the year. And I don't think...
Mate, he was.
Well, he was, right?
Yeah.
So you think about the amount of pressure they were under then. I know this is a different kind of pressure or it's different, but I think given they do have a decent run, if they can get a couple of games under their belt, I still wouldn't want to come up against them week 1 or 2 if I was one of those bottom 8 sides.
I would, comparing some of the other teams at the moment, so the top of the 8. So you got Knights, who will be full strength, most likely. Sorry, they won't be full
outside
strength.
of the Dylans,
So you've got, let's look at it. So right now, I reckon Bulldogs will make the 8, and I reckon Raiders will make the 8. I reckon South will drop out, and Manly, who are supposed to be, and Manly would not be there. And Cowboys they're on the edges. There's still some games to play. I would rather play the Cowboys than the Bulldogs or the Raiders in the bottom of that. And then you've got the Dolphins. Definitely don't want to fucking play them. Week 1 of the finals.
No.
So I reckon out of those teams, Cowboys with that scar in the back of their head, I don't know, man. They might be out. I'm not ruling it out impossibly, but if I'm going to look at, who would I least likely to play out of the bottom 4 of the top 8 if Raiders and Bulldogs are in there? I don't want to play Dolphins. I think the Raiders are starting to hit form, Doggies as well. So it would probably be Cowboys at this stage.
Fuck, we're in for a very interesting final series.
Crazy final series.
I'll just say, it's very rare for me to, completely change my opinion on one team after 180-minute performance. Well, it happened twice last night. Seriously, the Roosters have proven a lot of people wrong, as in, we all knew that they could, if they put together 80, that they'd win games. But, no one saw this coming. But I reckon more so the Cowboys. I came into this week on multiple shows saying they can cause some trouble this final series. And now I have absolutely no doubt that they're gone. That last night, it's just completely changed my opinion.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
They'll probably still make the 8, probably. But I just reckon week 1 of the finals, they're going to come up against Dolphins probably, or it would be Warriors or something like that. And I'd be tipping Warriors or Dolphins against,
it'd be Dolphins,
the Cowboys.
Dolphins or Warriors probably.
Yeah. But if he can manage to just somehow get their mental headspace right, I reckon they could have one upset of a game. I definitely don't see him winning 3 games in a row with that scarring. Incredible stuff. Look, in regards to individual performance of the Cowboys, look, across the board, just shocking. Just that defense, even that try off the scrum was just what?
Can I throw you an unbelievable stat at you? and this blew my mind. So the score was at halftime. What was it? 48-6,
48-6.
which was a tied record, by the way. I got a fun fact about that later. They missed 16 tackles by halftime. 16. So they didn't miss tackles. They got nowhere near them.
Yep.
They weren't missing them. They were running past them.
Yeah.
It was some of the worst defense I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I know they had a short turnaround, but fuck, not 80 points short turnaround. Jesus, there's been plenty of teams who've had short turnarounds.
I heard another stat last night. I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to say it anyway. Apparently, the last 10 times they've beaten the Broncos, they've lost the next week.
Yeah, that was Dan Sportsbet, Dan Ganane.
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, whenever they beat the Broncos, they usually struggle the next week because that was
Wish I knew
clearly a
that.
grand final for them, the Broncos last week.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they definitely showed that. I just think that try you're talking about can be like the Toya try. Like, he just ran a fucking lead off the scrum. Like, it wasn't like anything crazy. I know they swept the other way, but fuck, like to not lay a hand on him.
Like, he must have lost concentration in that moment and just stopped thinking.
Was he looking at the screen or something? Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
genuinely, like what? Because I'm trying to think, like, what else is your job there other than coming in tight to the scrum like that?
well, 2 weeks ago when the Sharks beat the Knights and Katoa scored off a little drop play off a scrum. And like that was just bad defense, missed tackles. Like he still had to sort of like
And just like lazy trail. It wasn't
Yeah.
like
just lazy inside colour. And like I thought that was fucking bad. That was worlds better than the Toya try. Like that's some of the worst I've seen. It was not
that
good.
cannot happen in the NRL. Like
No.
that cannot happen in the NRL. I
I
don't know.
against the top two side.
The only thing that makes sense is he genuinely just shut off for a second. Like he stopped thinking and then the play happened and it was like, oh shit. That's the only thing that makes sense. And you could tell they were off from the get when Scott Drinkwater nearly freaking didn't pick the ball up and pass it.
That was ridiculous. Yeah.
Mate,
It was
far
Siwa, wasn't it, who dived on it
yeah,
and
and
dropped
just knocked
it?
it on, yeah.
Fuck, biggest get out of jail of all. Not that they got out of jail.
Hey, they only lost by 70.
It was like a fake get out of jail. Like
Yeah.
they left the door open a little bit and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, thank God. And they're like, nah, fuck
Yeah.
you.
Fuck, boys, we got to switch on here. Nah.
Mate, speaking of switched on, did you see Orange? Mr. Orange?
Yeah, I did see this.
This idiot who's actually fucking killing it, absolutely killing it. So talented, absolutely like one of the biggest names in Australia right now. Seriously, killing it. But this idiot leaked a KO code that gives 2 free months, and I'm going to give it to the people because fuck Orange, fuck him. So this idiot, so he did the video squawking like a magpie or whatever, and in the background he's left a code there, and people have seen it. And so I said, you know what? First I'll tell the boys what the code is. So it's K0JM NUA1. We'll also leave it in the show notes. So that again is K0JM NUA1. And for returning customers or new customers, that gives you 2 months free KO. And Dan Gorringe, you idiot for leaking it, sucked in. But it made me thinking, what's the biggest story that's leaked in rugby league where you've just gone, what is happening right now? Because I'm going to give you mine off the bat. I'll never forget the moment I saw Payne Haas to South Sydney Rabbitohs. Never. I was standing in a shopping centre, in a Woolworths, buying I think I was buying some protein powder and looked down at my phone and I remember seeing it going, that's like fake. Like that's got to be fake news. Like this has got to be G up. There's negotiations. There's whatever going on. And then when I saw it getting reported from more places, I was like, oh my God, surely not. Surely not. That is the biggest I've ever been shocked of like, what the fuck is going on here? What was your biggest leak story in rugby league?
Well, before I get to, I got a few for you, but before I get to mine, I remember that day I was sitting in my car in Bondi and I was editing a food review video. And because I was editing a video, I put my phone on DND for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And in that 20 minutes was when it broke and people started covering it and reacting to it. So when I turned my phone back on the other side, it was I've never
Chaos.
experienced anything like it. I was like, fuck. And my reaction was exactly yours. I'm not a South fan or a Broncos fan, but I was like, this has to be a joke. Like, this has to be ridiculous. It was unbelievable. But there's been a few over the years. So I heard one the other day. Now, I was only about 6 years old when it happened, but I heard Joel Kane talking about it the other day on one of his shows about when Sonny Bill fled the country.
Yes. That was insane, bro.
And he was saying how he was working, I think maybe at one of the radio stations at the time, and they used to get calls all the time from people with just complete bullshit yarns. Anyway, he had this one from a guy who's like, hey, I'm a customs officer or I'm a baggage handler at the airport. Sonny Bill's here. He's sitting in like Terminal 3. He's going to France. And they were like, fuck, no, surely not.
Yeah, this is a G up.
But then they got like a call from Dave Gallup or something like, no, like, or Todd Greenberg, and they're like, no, this is happening, like he's going. That would have been fucking insane. Like just...
Can you remember when that was crazy times? I'll tell you another crazy time. So when we were at the Broncos, and we'll go through more of yours there, we're at the Broncos, we actually, I don't know whether it's signed or agreed to terms, but Greg Inglis coming to the Broncos. And so at the club, it's a done deal. Greg Inglis is coming. Oh my God, this is crazy. And then we got to training the next day, or like it happened over a period of time, whatever it was. And like there was this one report that was like getting cold feet, like he's getting shaky on the deal or whatever. And then other reports came out, said, no, it's been confirmed. That's a nonsense report. And I remember being at training and it came out that he had backflipped on the deal. And even then we were like, nah, it's all been agreed to. Like greeting us to the Broncos, it's going to be hectic. And then later on, so that was in the morning that we kind of think all found out. And we were all just like, that's just a G up article. And then later in the day, it kind of like hit everyone. And we were all just like, what the hell just happened? Greg Inglis, he was here. It was over. Greg Inglis to the Brisbane Broncos. He was going to build a legacy. He was going to take the club to new heights. And then, boom, pulled up.
So that would have been in your second stint at the Broncos, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, so because that was on my list. And funnily enough, so he obviously got forced out of the Storm off the back of the salary cap stuff.
Yeah.
He goes up and he like handshake agrees with them. And he comes back to Sydney and there's like an offer from Souths as well. And there's issues with getting his contract lodged for the Broncos. But they're like, you're all good. I don't know how this worked insurance-wise, but they're like, you're sweet to start training. Anyway, the day he was meant to start training, which I think is the day you're talking about, I don't know if this will ring a bell for you, he tells them, oh, it's shit weather in Sydney. I can't fly. So he doesn't come to training. He then is like weighing it up with Souths. There's issues with that salary cap, like getting the contract launched as well. So he's frustrated. He goes and meets with Essendon Bombers. And he's like hours away from signing with the Essendon Bombers. But then I don't know if he spoke to Burgess or how the yarn goes, but he ends up being like, no, and he signs with Souths. So he backflips on the Broncos, doesn't sign with Essendon, signs with Souths. Because he signed with Souths needed to create about like 200 grand worth of cap space. So his cousin, who was one of the main guys who got him to the club, Bo Champion, ends up being the guy who leaves and goes to Melbourne to create space for Greg.
Yep.
That's fucking one of the great yarns of all time. I remember that preseason watching it, and I was Devo who was going to the Broncos.
Like we were just like so ready for him to arrive. We had this gun side, it would be him and Hodjo. Like it was just going to be next level. It was all set up, ready to go.
I remember, so we've had Mike Whitney on the podcast before, and the connection there is I'm very, very, very close with his son. I went to school with him, Ferg. And Mike Whitney was instrumental in getting South back in the comp, so he obviously knew everything. I'll never forget, there was like whispers about the Inglis thing, and obviously, as a South fan who had seen their team, I was in year 10 at school, so I was 16 years old. I'd seen my team play finals once, and they got knocked out by Manly in 2007. Like Souths were a basket case in the 2000s. And Ferg just came up to me in school and just said, "We've got him." And I'll never forget it. I just had the biggest goosebumps of all time, and that literally changed the history of the club.
Mate, it's so bizarre. Yeah, we were at training ready for him to arrive. Like it was all going to happen. And I just think what a sliding doors moment. Imagine, I know people don't like this because they don't like the Broncos, but imagine what he could have achieved at the Broncos. And granted, he went on to do great things at Rabbitohs, so I'm not discounting that at all. I'm just saying, like, him in a Broncos jersey, holy, bro, that would have been hectic.
Oh, it's such a sliding door. Because
like imagine him and Lockie together at Clubland.
Crazy. It's also funny though, too.
They would have had 1 year. 1 year.
1 year. Yeah, 2011.
Yeah.
But when you think about like, when you just know something's wrong sometimes, like imagine being like, the head of football or whatever when he was like, oh, I can't fly today. And then you sort of check and like flights are on and you're like,
mate, I'd love to know whatever the conversation with South. I'd love to know what changed in those 24 to 48 hours. But yeah, what about yours biggest leaks, mate?
You alluded to it before. The biggest one, can't remember if it was a specific leak, but the reason I think it's a leak is because how I reacted after. But when the Storm cheated the cap in 2010 and they got their premierships taken off them. Now, I was 2 years old when Super League happened. Obviously, you weren't born and you weren't aware of it. So none of us were really around in a rugby league sense for that, which is probably the biggest story of all time, the Super League war. But I reckon in my experience rugby league, the Storm salary cap is the biggest story that I've experienced. And I just remember Danny Weidler or someone posted about it, and it was just before or after the press conference. I can't remember where David Gallup said everything, but like I wanted to be the first of my friends to tell everyone. So I just literally copied and pasted everything he wrote in the article and just put it as my Facebook status, and it just went off. But
That's crazy.
That was the biggest story of my lifetime, besides Super League, but obviously it wasn't old enough.
Mate, speaking of leak, I'll tell you one of the funniest leaks I've ever been involved in. So, well, not involved in, but was at the club, or at least getting to the club soon. I think it was at the club. So, basically, Darren Lockyer goes out. He's enjoying, I think it was on Caxton Street, enjoying a good night. And a story comes out that he was tackling people on the street. Anyway, so he unequivocally denies it. I think I was was it 2006 when this happened?
I'll check.
I remember.
Maybe 5? Maybe I was at the club, maybe I wasn't. I don't know. I swear I might have been at the club. Anyway, so he comes out, unequivocally denies it. Did not happen. Did not happen. And so the patron, whoever he did it to, was like, all right, sweet. Anyway, that night on the news, I'm pretty sure, there's literal footage, security cam footage of him tackling this bloke on Caxton Street.
2008.
2008, yeah, I would 100%. And so you had to be like, oh, maybe I did do it.
Actually, on that guy.
Is the video there? Have you got the video there? Can you Google the video? Darren Lockyer tackling on Caxton Street.
Oh, that
Mate,
tackle. Yeah,
You know what's crazy? The tackle's not even that bad. And what a fucking sook this guy is. You just got tackled by a great D-lock. Surely you're fucking stoked about that.
But also, sorry, like not to be like that guy, but who actually gives a fuck? Like, what was he going to get in heaps of trouble for that? Like, what's the logic there? I know it's like irresponsible, but it's Caxton Street. We're talking about,
Mate, is it broken link?
Broken link.
Mate, Lockie's gone in the deep web and swept it up.
broken leg.
Link.
No link. Like it's like watch the clip here on the news, but it's like.
I was gonna be like, if he broke his leg, it's a fucking bit of a different story. But if it's just two,
Mate,
there'll be one somewhere. There'll be one somewhere.
What I recall, it was nothing. Like nothing, bro. But yeah, it looks like the Illuminati has swept it up. Swept it up. You can't find any footage.
To be fair, that's the first one I looked at. I will find one.
There is just, mate, it's so hilarious. Any other leaks there on your list?
I've got a few like proper niche ones for you.
Okay.
So this one's Martin Tapau in 2015 contract saga. Listen to how stupid this is. Not from him, just in terms of just crazy events. So he was moving to Manly from the Tigers, and everyone expected that was going to happen. But there was a British notarial publicist who was seemingly hired by the Seagulls to secure the forward, like to secure his signature. But they sent it to the wrong guy with the same name. So they sent it to a Canadian theatre critic, James Keller Nestruck, who had a similar email address to the CEO of Manly. So he gets this email in Canada. He's like, what the fuck's this? Shares it on Twitter. And then the two clubs are left scrambling trying to like confirm the deal because it wasn't fully done yet.
That's fucking
So that was
great.
niche.
That's rugby league.
In May 2016, Junior Paulo, while contracted at the Eels, made an appearance for the third grade subbies team, Oatley, wore a headgear and signed on under a fake name. But like, just
Punya Jolo.
And Punya Jolo, what he failed to account for. So subbies is like, third grade subbies is like 7 grades below shoot shield. So obviously, if fucking Junior Paulo's on the field, or Punya Jolo, whichever one of them, you're going to be like, you're going to stand out like dog's balls.
Yes.
But he's wearing this headgear, fake name. Anyway.
Punya Jolo.
Yeah, Punya Jolo got done. When they asked him about it, because he obviously got in shit for it, because like you're an NRL player.
Yeah. What are you doing, bro?
He was like, oh, I'm doing my brother-in-law a favour. His brother-in-law was the coach. So
his brother-in-law's like, hey, bro, I need you to come down and fucking ping some blokes for me.
Yeah.
NRL level, Origin level player.
Yeah. And like the vibe of subbies is like, you might be sort of late 20s, 30s, full-time job. You don't really like training. Like you might do a bit of touch footy.
Big he would have been there, like physically.
Fucking rocking up. Like, a lot of those guys wouldn't even tackle during the week. They just rock up to play a bit of fun on the weekend and fucking Cunha Jolo's there running there. And then, the other one that I thought was like nice to walk down memory lane was the Lachlan Lewis saga.
That's potentially the greatest story in rugby league history.
That being leaked was sort of like, that took me a while. As much as we're speaking about grand contract things.
That's one of the
The
best.
speaker on eBay is hilarious.
Like, honestly, and then like to chop suey, judo sweep, Cody Walker as well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, but you know why he actually got caught is because it was actually one of the NRL officials buying it.
What?
Off him. No, I don't know.
Oh, being serious then.
Can you imagine though? Like, yeah.
I was going to say his name was Lachlan Lewis, but the L's are both the same. So.
yeah, under the pseudonym, that's what got him done.
That's great. He thought he'd mix it around a little bit.
And then Volandis was on eBay and thought he got a mad deal on this speak. He's like, fuck, really? $80. Rocked up to get. He's like, wait, hold on.
I'll tell you what leak pissed me off the most when it came out that Whiten and Latrell had punched on.
The wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, but like it seemed like they just done the crime of the century and they were both going to be suspended. I think Whiten was at the Raiders at this point. But I was just like, are you serious? Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then it turns out they were just having a
It was
wrestle.
a pissed wrestle.
Yeah.
But they made it sound like they'd just come to blows in front of like
Genuine, the maddest scrap you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah,
It's like just a
yeah.
little bit of a wrestle.
this is a pissed wrestle.
Any other leaks, boys, that you can think of?
I mean, a big one was when, that I just straight up did not believe, is when Taumalolo and Fafita went to Tonga.
Yeah, that was huge.
That was
big.
That,
And I remember how off New Zealand, like the New Zealand was so off
Tamalolo.
Tamalolo. Yeah.
So, like, what a massive moment in the history of the game, though, in terms of when, like, it already is aged like that.
Yeah.
But even another 10, 20 years, you'll get, like, the knock-on effect it's had.
it's going to look like Beatson with Origin.
Literally.
Yeah. What about when it started to come out that the Dragons had a barbecue during COVID?
Mate.
Right.
What a
like,
fucking beat up that was. Seriously.
like that was like it was like the world had ended that they had gone and fucking done that. And
Right.
look, I get the argument where everyone else is trying to do the right thing, blah blah blah. But that was like genuinely like the world had ended.
Look, the tinfoil hat's too far over there, but seriously, I remember like I felt so bad for some of those boys, like reduced to tears, like apologizing on TV and shit.
Yeah.
For, like having some snags. Like, are we fucking serious? Like,
I know. Like that time has been so generous to that Dragons team. Like that.
Mate.
I remember at the time actually being annoyed about it. But like you look back, you're just like, what the fuck?
yeah. I remember at the time, like I was scared to be like, who really gives a fuck? Because
Yeah.
it did just seem like the most appalling thing ever. It's like that dude that got jailed for like 6 months for he like crossed the border to go to like an AFL semi-final or something, remember?
Yeah, he went from Perth to Melbourne.
Yeah, he got
Like-
thrown in jail for like 6 months.
I know.
Wild.
Look, this was disappointing because it ended his career. But I remember when the Todd Carney photo came out.
Mate,
That
that
was
was insane.
That was huge.
That was insane.
And that like the fact that ended his career is crazy. That's
Apparently, mate,
Unfortunate.
just on Todd Carney, apparently he's like a freak coach.
Oh really?
Like I can't remember if
Is
it
he
was.
working with Titan?
Yeah,
Titans?
he's in the pathways up at the
Yeah,
Titans.
yep.
Was it Matty Johns or someone was saying like fucking they reckon like he's
Well, that
got
makes sense,
got it
yeah.
in him to potentially like down the track coach.
Well, it makes he was a
NRL.
gun. People
He was a
forget
weapon.
how good he was in multiple positions. Just quickly, one great leak. When 27 players of the top 30 didn't attend the presentation night for the Dragons.
That is so fucked. And sometimes they'll like I'm pretty sure last year the Roosters had a separate one for their junior reps to like their NRL night. Or I think they did NRL and NRLW together, but not the junior reps. I hope that night that the Dragons did the entire club. Because otherwise that would have like you would have had a room with what 3 blokes in there.
Well, yeah, no, they did because apparently they were waiting till the NRLW season ended and a lot of players just went off for holiday.
You know what? I don't know if I'm in the minority here. I don't blame the players a single
No
bit for that.
way. It's their break.
It's their freaking leave.
Yeah, like it's just terrible administration.
Yeah.
You expect these boys to not go on holiday to go a fucking awards night? Like what are you
27
talking
out
about?
of 30 is so
Yeah.
fucked.
It's
though.
so
It's
funny.
Like 90%.
Another one is the home of the Sydney Roosters. Football Australia officials calls the Roosters self-entitled and selfish for having the sign at the back of the new Allianz Stadium. Sydney FC put up a tarp over the sign for their first game at the venue. Nick Politis calls the FA petty and states that the sign is part of the rental agreement for the Roosters Centre of Excellence inside the stadium.
out.
I mean, there's so many good stuff. There's so much good
What
stuff.
about Dugan and Ferguson on the roof missing
Cruisers?
training with the Cruisers?
Oh, when that picture got leaked.
Yeah.
And
And
the
it-
finger as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, people forget this one. I can't remember if it was these two same players, I think it might have been, but at Origin camp, I think it was literally 8 days before Origin. They skipped on one of their days off. They went to the Lennox Head Hotel to have a beer. Someone took a photo and it was like front back page news and it was crazy. It was 8 days before the game and like they got in so much trouble for having a couple of schooners at the Lennox Head Hotel.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
What about the Cleary TikTok?
Oh,
Goated.
Yeah.
That, I fucking think that shit is so funny. Like, going back and watching this legend of our game doing a TikTok dance.
Yeah.
That shit is, and I know it's a different generation. It's kind of like normalized for the younger guys. But for me, like, to watch the great of one of the toughest games in the world doing TikTok dances, it's fucking so funny. to
Wait,
me.
that's hilarious. I'll give you another angle that's even funnier. When people bring up Cleary and they're talking about him, and occasionally when we're talking about like the GOAT conversation and stuff, and people
Oh,
be
you
like,
Google it?
no, but they go, oh, and you know, like he's a clean skin, like he's never really had any off-field issues. Oh, outside of the TikTok. yeah. Outside of that one massive blemish on his name.
Do you remember that year they played Para? And then every time it was at Para's home ground, and every time he went to kick a goal, Para would play the same song he used in the TikTok.
The Blinding Lights
That's
song?
great
Yeah.
stuff. It's kind of like the story of how, and this, I don't know if this got leaked or whatever, but Queensland, I think they were playing the highlights of Cleary that lost or something like
Yeah,
that.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. So it was a captain's run for the Blues, so they were up at Suncorp Stadium, and Queensland were like testing out all their like what do you call it, like statistics that come up on the screen. And then it was like 2019. It had Nathan Cleary, State of Origin career, 0 tries, 0 line breaks, 0 try assists, and they just had it up for the whole captain's run.
Oh my God.
That's fucking great stuff. That's great stuff. And we'll just wrap it up, boys. And this is a classic. Jerome Luai's best man speech.
Oh, yeah. That was leaked by himself because friggin' he got live streamed. Oh, sorry, leaked by Toto.
Oh, it's actually,
It's actually one of the GOATs.
That's a bit-
Oh, fuck.
he, imagine waking up the next morning.
Oh, just going, oh, God. Oh, no.
It was like something out of like a movie, eh? Like you can just see like the people around him, and at the start, it's very like, oh yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then you can just see their faces become more and more just serious. And just the eyes get wider, and they're like, oh fuck.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay. Anyway, that's the leak's all done.
That's hilarious.
There's a bit of whispers about Dearden. I will say, and this is like not official. This has no bearing in any kind of fact. But I actually did hear about 3 months ago that he was leaving Cowboys, and it was like a done deal with the Roosters.
With the Roosters.
Yeah, like a done deal. Like it was done.
I heard Dragons, like not done deal, but I heard he was talking to the Dragons.
Now, obviously,
It was leaked to me.
it's like now, obviously, we'll wait and see. But like, it is a bit weird that the not necessarily where he's going to land, but that has been bubbling there for a little bit now in regards to Dearden.
Roosters does make sense though. Like with Cherry Evans potentially retiring, Hugo Savala.
But how could surely they couldn't afford 1.3 for Walker and 1.3 for.
What's DC on?
He wouldn't be on that much.
He would have taken a cut to come to the
What,
Chooks, you'd imagine.
600, 700K, I reckon?
About that, yeah. I reckon.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good time to sort of let that sprinkle out though. Your team just lost 82-12 and you didn't play. You know what I mean?
Oh, but this has been
been
behind
around
the
for a
scenes
while.
for a while.
Yeah.
It's been bubbling. It's interesting. All I'll say, as I said, what I do know is that has been bubbling around for a period that he may not be settled in North Queensland. I want him to stay. He earns a mozza there. I think he signed till 29.
Yeah.
So I want him to stay, but I have heard that for quite a while. Also, Sean Bloor, the Broncos are reportedly ramped up their aggressive recruitment drive by signing Storm grand final back rower Sean Bloor. Code Sports can reveal Bloor has agreed to terms on a 2-year deal on the eve of Brisbane's clash against the Knights. Love this. I think great. If he can, as long as he stays injury free, our edged back rower depth is like not great at all.
Been a weird year after like the year that he had last year.
Yeah,
and,
he's great last year. Except for the back end, there was a hiccup here or there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind it at all. Without I will say, like, Madge has this uphill battle where, like, is he recruiting the best possible players, or is he recruiting players that are willing to go through nightmare preseasons? He's got the uphill battle of like players going, oh man, if I go there, I'm going to get fucking towed up. So I guess we'll see. I don't mind it. Doesn't set the world alight for me, but I do think it's a position we need. I am a bit concerned that we've got multiple over 30-year-olds signing. So Gagai, Barnett, and Hunt. Now, I'm all for senior players, but you're hoping that your senior players are, if they are 30, they're in really good nick, or they're like late 20s, early 30s, whereas like Benny Hunt would be like 35 now or something like that. Gagai, he'd be 35. Barnett, 33. Like, that's getting up there for three main players of your squad. That's pretty old.
Ben Hunt in round 4 next year is going to be 37.
Far out.
That's wild. That is wild.
So I'm just a little, and I understand the experience they all bring. Like, I totally get that, but it's like you still need to recruit young guns to this. Like you still need to fill all these other positions up with young guns. And if you're spending all your money on the senior guys, you're not going to have the money to recruit the young guys.
And yeah, I saw someone talking about that the other day, how Madge does that, where he'll like bring in guys at his guys into a roster.
Yeah, but the problem is like there are very few guys that are really good at rugby league, guns, that will also go and just get pounded into the core of the earth constantly.
Do you think he's in a group chat with all like the army guys that run those camps, where they send funny gifts to each other and
He
shit?
must be, seriously. Yeah. I hope that he just tweaks a little bit, pulls it back a little bit, because his ability, I honestly think that he might be the greatest ever coach at getting players up for one game. Like, for example, getting the Broncos up for that Penrith win. Like, he had no right to do that when you think about how he lost to the fucking Cowboys the next week. Like in regards to one-off big games, he might be the best in the business.
Yeah, no, I reckon that's a fair argument.
Outside of Wayne, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Wayne's the best. But then, yeah, probably Madge.
But there's a lot of evidence of Wayne not getting up for big games as well. Like he hasn't been in a grand final since the Rabbitohs
21, yeah.
21, lost that.
It's been in the finals game since then, to be fair.
Yeah, and then they have made anyway, so Madge is up there. He's up there with the GOATs in regards to big games. So I still have faith in him. Still have faith.
It's pretty funny when you think about, like, I reckon there's every world where like few times Madge has thought that he has pulled back, that he's gone heaps chill, but it's chill for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like a fucking 30 out of 10 for everyone else.
Yeah. Guys, the NRL are reportedly going to trial the kickoff rule in games this season with no bearing on the finals. Even though I don't like the rule, I at least like the fact that they're trialing it. Like,
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're trialing it. Again, I'm still not grasping like how this is going to change momentum. And they've mentioned the fact that this is to try and cut these big momentum rolls that happen in games. But I just don't understand how, if you don't have the energy to get up in defense and jam someone in a corner and keep them there so you get field position, I don't know how you think you're going to get the energy to get out of your own end when a team has all the energy. Like, imagine Penrith Panthers getting to kick into your corner, how much they are going to jam you in there. And then all of a sudden, you're literally in your own half anyway because you lose field position. Then there's the short kickoff option. But the short kickoff, if you don't get that ball back, if you don't get that ball back, they are on halfway now and you're even in a worse position. I just don't know whether it's going to affect momentum the way they think it is. I think it's actually going to almost have the opposite effect. Put it this way, like if I just scored a try on you and I'm Panthers, I actually want an opportunity to jam you in your corner. Because think about it like this. When you kick to me, I've got to come out of my end as a team if I've just scored. So I'm all the way out the other end of the field. Whereas if I kick to you and we have a crazy good set, you could be kicking from the 30 and we could be attacking from the halfway line the first time we get the ball if we defend correctly. Now, I know you can say, well, you can spin it, you can try all these things. Yeah, then there could be errors as well. I don't think it's going to have the change that they think. Look, I'm open to say I got it wrong. I don't like the rule, but I like that they're trialing it in games that don't matter.
I do like that they're trialing it, and I think that's like probably the most important thing here. I do wonder how much teams are going to like opt into it anyway. Like, I wonder if we're just going to watch like 4 games where like nothing changes, where they're just like, fuck, we just got to kick deep and try and get back in the contest. I don't think this rule will come in, to be honest. I can't see teams, but to your point, what is the upside, really?
Well, and look, my big conspiracy theory I had was like, so they changed the 20-metre 6 again rule, and this was supposed to be a package of changes that included the kickoff thing. And so, like, if you are, having more, like, the 6 agains give refs a lot of control of the game. So if it was to the 40 where the 6 agains are, and like a penalty is, it's to give a penalty, it's much bigger of a deal. So you can't do it as often. Whereas if you're you're trying to get the feel of the game as a ref and you're trying to like get the momentum back swinging in certain favors, it's much easier to go 6 again. Like, let's say a team's under the pump and they've got 2 tries scored on against them. Someone kicks them into their corner. Very easy for a ref to go 6 again, and then all of a sudden they've got field position.
Yeah. It's interesting though. Like, I think in the NFL they've obviously changed their kickoff rule, and when you do a short kickoff in the NFL or like an onside kick, like you could argue in terms of like concussion risk or HIA risk, like it's still quite high because it's on the ground. You're normally diving for it at each other. Wouldn't you just be better off incentivizing teams to just do short kickoffs in terms of just like if you because I assume that has something to do with this as well in terms of this rule. Like long term, it's going to be something that they're going to want to explore, and probably the most entertaining way to do it is to just incentivize shorter kickoffs.
Oh, I fucking hate short. You like short kickoffs and short dropouts.
I don't love them. I love it off the back fence, obviously. Well,
I
not
think
me running it, but you know what I mean. Like
I think short dropouts and short kickoffs are the ugliest part of rugby league, and I find no joy in watching fucking bodies everywhere, bouncing everywhere. I'm not saying that you are. I fucking hate shorts.
I don't love it.
It does my head in.
I don't love it, but if you gave me 2 options, if you're like, okay, from now on you have to kick a short kickoff every time, or we're going to make it so that you kick it and like you start. If the kick goes longer than 40 meters, you just start with a play the ball or something.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I fucking hate that more.
Yeah, I understand.
more.
Like it's the better of 2 evils, I guess. Lesser of 2 evils, but yeah, I just don't get it, to be honest. What do you reckon, Matty?
Yeah, pretty boring answer for me here, but like as you guys kind of said, I'm kind of just happy that I don't have to think about what it will be, and I can just kind of put my feet up and have a look in the last few rounds, and then I can have a look then and think, oh, okay, this is good, this is shit. But I can, if I had to guess, I don't think I'm gonna like it. I just love it the way it is. I love it the way it is.
One rule I hope they change is this bullshit. You don't get a penalty if you're the short dropout. The short dropout. I understand they're trying to reduce the amount of times it's off the back fence. I get that. But like, it's just not completely, but like short kicking is nowhere near what it was.
It's taking a lot of the value away from
massively.
Absolutely.
And also it's just taken away, like there's nothing better, or maybe there is something better, but one of the beauties of rugby league is watching a team defend its line 4 sets in a row.
Yeah, 100%.
It's fucking, it gives you tingles. It's the best.
2005 Game 3 Origin, New South Wales defended 6 sets in a row of Queensland for 8 minutes straight. And then they diffused it, didn't let him through. I think Minicello might have taken an intercept or something. Ran 80 meters, got a penalty, kicked a goal, 2-0.
Roosters
and that broke Queensland.
Roosters against the Raiders in that grand final. They defended so many sets on their line, many sets on their line.
100%. Yeah. I just think too the thing I really don't like about that rule is like, if you want to change momentum, like, I don't think you should be like, we're already doing that with 60 games in terms of helping teams do that. Like, okay, if you want the ball back or you don't know if you can defend another set, fucking do a short kick off. Like, chance your arm.
Yeah.
Like, take the risk yourself. Like, the idea of letting teams just be gifted the ball if they want it is so stupid
horrendous
to me. You know?
Oh, I think it was because it was a package deal. It gives refs much more control of the flow of the game if that rule is brought in.
I reckon, I can't remember if you were saying this at the start of the year, but I reckon my conspiracy theory is that they wanted to get that rule about changing inside 20 or the 20-minute 60 again rule. Like, they wanted to get that under the radar, so they threw out this fucking rule initially. Because I think you guys would both remember how much pushback there was on this kickoff rule. That was like the main focus in terms of the coverage when they put all those proposed rule changes out. Everyone was like, what the fuck's this kickoff rule? And I think the 6 again one just sort of slid under the radar more. So it actually also kind of, as much as I don't like it, it actually surprises me that they are trialing it. Like, they're obviously. I actually think it wasn't to hide anything. It was a package. They've looked at it and like, what's the most control we can have in a game as refs? And it's this. Right.
It's this, in my opinion anyway. Like, the 6 again, it is, at least in my time watching rugby league, it's the most obvious way you can dictate ruck speed without having consequences since I've ever started watching rugby league. Because there is we don't stop and look at it. We don't go back. Like, internally, I'm sure they do, but there is no real set, like, one time the tackle, it is a 6 again, and then there's fucking 6 other tackles that are exact same speed, exact thing happens, not 6 again. It's very willy-nilly. Whereas when it's a penalty, we stop, we look at it, there's a replay, and there's more accountability on whether that should be a call. And also, like, you have to, as a ref, you have to hold up, like, you know, it does make the game slow. If you give away 20 penalties, it's a slow, boring game. So you have to make the decision. Am I going to let the players deal with this, or am I going to pull the game up every 2 seconds? Whereas 6 agains, you don't have to worry about that. You can just go bang, bang, bang. And we've seen it a million times before. And I'm not blaming the refs. This is the system that they've been given. But what they do is, okay, there's 20 minutes to go. One team's already run the match, and they've been given away. They've been given a million 6 agains, and they've given away 0. So what happens is, in the back end of the game, the ref just goes boom, 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 6 agains, and then they look at the sheet at the end of the game, and it says, 6 agains was 6-4. Okay, the penalty count was relatively even. We should not be walking away from most games with even penalty counts. Like, sometimes teams are just more ill-disciplined than the other, but the problem is they see it as we've given it seems like a fair kind of, it looks fair because we've given the same amount of 6 agains. But when you actually watch the games, the 6 agains were given away at different times in the game, so the impact was different.
Yeah.
And we see, it feels like we do see square ups happen quite a bit in rugby league.
The penalty count was 6-7 last night.
Which is good stuff.
How was the penalty count even last night?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we
It's
talking about?
yeah. It's also funny what you say. Like, you can definitely tell that as a fan, because like when you have a penalty going against your team that you don't agree with, you blow up for substantially longer than you do when there's a 6 again that you're not sure what it was for, or
Because you
don't agree
can't,
with
you've got
it.
to keep watching the footy.
You're like, the fuck's this for? And then you got to keep following the play. So yeah, it's a very smart way to do it. It's
Super smart. Super smart. Look, we're in the best place we've ever been, so you can't knock it. Okay, boys, predictions. Dragons, Dolphins. And give us a follow on Sportsbet. I got my bets up on their feed. You can copy them at the moment. Hopefully, I'm going to get up this week. And also, if you need a car, Aspley Mazda. I'm flying up to Brisbane tomorrow to watch Knights v Broncos in a suite with the winner. Massive congratulations. And if you need a car, give Lukey a message. LDC_01. Absolute legend, guys. New CX-5s are out. Mazda 6e, the new electric cars as well. There's all the rave on them. If you want them, give them a message. Dragons, Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Dolphins, big win.
Storm, Dogs.
Dogs.
Doggies.
Titans, Wars.
Wars.
Panthers, Raiders.
Raiders.
Panthers.
Broncos.
Raiders.
I reckon, yeah. They need a win.
No, this is what he's doing. He's trying to get clip. He's clip farming. He's fucking clip
not clip
farming.
farming. No, I'm not clip
You don't
farming.
believe what you just said.
I actually do believe this one.
Oh
I have
my
clip farmed in the
God.
past.
This is a massive clip farm.
No,
if I've
it's
ever seen it.
actually not. Okay, here's the deal. I'll clip it up either way.
Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you clipped up Blaze Tungy.
I can't even tell you. I've never given a fuck about Team List Tuesday before, like I did on Tuesday when I saw that, and I was like, oh my God.
Listen, when the men are talking rugby league, you just
You
fucking
just go play with your toys, Tom. I know. Hand up.
To be fair, Rue was back in the end. So
I can't fucking believe that it happened this week. I couldn't believe it. After I doubled down on it, I was like, fuck. Gotta take your medicine sometimes. That's clip farming.
mate, I've been wrong plenty of times. Broncos, Knights.
Nice.
Yeah, Knights.
That's a spot bet. Sharks, Rabbitohs.
Sharks.
I actually think Rabbitohs.
Really?
Yep.
You
And I
clip
think
farming.
380 is fucking value as fuck.
Well, I tipped the Cowboys last night, so I hope I'm right.
So you-
380? Are we serious right now?
It's value, but I've gone against the Sharks 3 weeks in a row, and it made me look like a fucking idiot. And the Blaze Talangi thing has already made me look like a fuckwit this week. So.
Listen, yous are all idiots. The markets are idiots. I'm telling you right now.
The markets are idiots.
Yep. They don't know shit about footy.
Nah, of course not.
Rabbitohs are going to win.
Hope so.
Matt Duffy hat trick.
Maybe. Tigers, Eels.
Tigers.
This is my golden point one. Eels.
And just to be clear on that thing, Sharks, I still have them red hot. I just think they've been up for as long as they've been up. They've won 8 from 9, been up for about 10 weeks now. I think they just have a little bit of a flat game because they've been playing so well for so long.
You hate Cronulla. It's fine.
Mate, out of every single rugby league pundit, I have protected and spoken about Cronulla positively fucking through the trenches, absolute trenches. No one else speaks positively of the Sharks.
Yeah, they've called it for a long time.
Fucking people talk. They're back-to-back prelim side with fucking zero resources, smallest club in the comp, and people talk shit about them. It's like we should be fucking praising the Sharks for how good they are with how little resources they have.
Yeah, the resources thing's a good point.
They have a better last 5 years than you cunts. They do.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, they do.
Easily.
And they are
Easily, yeah.
tiny compared to the Roosters, and their roster on paper is not as good.
Wait, did they beat you They
They
beat
knocked
you
us out of the finals last year.
but then you beat them a few years ago.
I think they've made the prelim 3 out of 4 of Fitz's years, maybe.
No, two prelims back to back.
Only the 2.
No, 3.
No,
3.
They made one.
2022.
It was a year apart. So 2022
Oh.
they made the prelim.
Yeah.
2023 we knocked them out in a
Yep.
semi, and then the last 2
2024,
years.
2025.
Are you sure they made the prelim 2022?
100%.
Yeah, because that was
No, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
They got beat by the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then
Semi.
South knocked them out the next week. They got straight setted.
straight settled in 22.
Yeah, you're right.
Hinesdale, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So 2 prelims,
Two prelims.
and then we knocked them out of the other year
20.
in the semis.
They've essentially finished in the top 4 every year except for I think 2.
Yeah, because they
Like if you look at they came second one of those years, then they came like 5th and then 4th, and then the last 2 years of getting into a prelim.
they went 2 years straight sets. Is that right?
Yes, I think so.
So they went straight sets. Then they just got beat. They were 6.
By us,
And then they were prelim.
prelim.
Yeah, so better than the Roosters last 5 years.
Stadium's still got
confirmed.
a shit name though.
Good. Still beat you. Okay, that's us done and dusted. Give Tommy Bomb a follow. We'll go fuck ourselves. Thank you.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.